Hi, and welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I'm your host, Cardinellis, and today we're going to talk about Donald Trump's news conference. Now, I'm going to read a little quote here from Facebook site from our friend S.O. King. He says, today was absolutely the greatest presidential news conference I've ever seen. The president was so honest and spot on about the media. Today, he was doing exactly what got him elected. He's not being portrayed fairly, period, by the media, and we all know it. So he nicely and calmly handed the truth to them like I've never seen before. I was proud of him. This has now resulted in 223 comments, mostly calling him racist, I'm sure, but some of them are worthy of mention. A friend challenges him and says, show me an example of bias in the news towards Donald Trump. I don't even know what to say to this person. It's the same look that I give those weirdos in coveralls that have straw hats that think that climate change is not real. You just have to be a science denier or a see what your eyes see denier to not observe the blatant culture and war of ideas that is going on right now, whose focal point is one man, Donald Trump. The proof, if I can even engage in an argument about this, is just look, I just popped open the news feed on my iPad. Let's just read randomly here. Hispanic caucus members rejected from meeting with ICE. That's obviously having to do with Trump's talk about Hispanics. Fox News. Mattis rebuffs Russia cooperation, yada, yada, this and that. No doubt that Moscow is meddling in elections. Has to do with Trump. Oh, but CNN so nicely says Chelsea Clinton finds her voice. Because we never talk about the Clintons bad in the media, unless it's some sensationalist nonsense about emails, just to try and get ratings. Wall Street Journal, Jared Kushner delivers critique of CNN, yada, yada, this and that. Okay, Kushner, Trump, once again. HuffPost, they're going to say something good about him. Fox News, Shep Smith blasts Trump for lashing out. Sure, infighting in the Republican Party because it doesn't exist in the Democratic Party. Vox, if you can consider that news, they might as well just be the talking points of the Democrat Party. What does it say? Oh, the lowest moment of Donald Trump's press conference. Nothing substantive about Trump in any of these articles. Nothing substantive about his policies. Nobody's talking about, hey, there's a 77% chance that 3 vacancies are going to be up in the Supreme Court in the next 4 to 6 years, and that this man, Donald Trump, will be the one to appoint them and to fulfill them. What does this mean for our democracy? What does the modern incarnation of Republican conservatism mean for the future of our judicial system? No summoning of experts on the subject. No social scientists or political scientists opining on what this could actually do to us. No, it's all, oh, Trump is so mean to the media. And the media is lashing out. If you cannot recognize a temper tantrum when you see one, I cannot help you, because this here is one massive temper tantrum. Today in the press conference, CNN got its butt handed to it again on a platter. Do you remember when Jorge Ramos was tossed out of that meeting and everybody called it anti-Latino and all that other stuff? No, Jorge Ramos got tossed out because he was perpetually interrupting Donald Trump, a man who is used to commanding the conversation and not being pushed around by the media because he's been in the media. But Jorge Ramos, very similarly to most news anchors out there for the past 40 years, has commanded the conversation. The news media is the only thing that politicians have ever feared. Because there's always been this buffer of reality, this filter from what's really going on in the mind and the heart of the Washington politician and what the media lets out through its editing bay to be disseminated to the public. Okay? The control of the conversation has always been in the hands of the news media, and they like it because that control is power. But when all of a sudden you're the number one voice at Univision and at Telemundo or one of the other prominent Latino outlets, and you're tossed out of the room, oh, you're not used to that. You don't like that. And it doesn't have to do with racism. He doesn't like getting interrupted. You interrupted him and you got tossed out. Wow, now you know what it's like to be on the receiving end of your treatment. For 40 years, the news media has looked a politician in the eye and said, you better say what we want you to say, or we're going to re-edit your interview to make you look like an idiot, or we're not going to cover you and you need our coverage. The control has been in the hands of the broadcast news media, and for the first time in their spoiled lives, they have been told to shut up and sit down. Now, is telling a news media guy to shut up and sit down unpresidential? Yeah, probably. Is it the behavior we would expect from a president? No. But could that be a good thing? Yeah. Yeah, it could. And I really think the news media now is getting taken to task just as hard as Donald Trump is. And all of these articles, they're BS. They only empower Trump. Why? Because the people that voted him, they deal with harsh realities every day. They get called racist every day. Every single time I talk to anybody about Trump, they insinuate that I'm not anti-Trump because I'm racist. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sure Joey, as he's driving through West Virginia, as he sees on the right side of the street the closed coal mine, and at the end of the street the closed steel mill, and at the corner of the street the closed bottle factory that his grandfather, his father, and his mother respectively all used to work at, and then the Latino guy who's at his house trimming his hedges, or the black guy who lives next to him who's mowing his front lawn, his two neighbors. Yeah, I'm sure as he's driving down the center of the street and he sees all the closed factories, but then his two neighbors, I'm sure the number one thing on his mind is, how dare they live in my neighborhood? That's, I'm sure, what he's thinking. No, the reality is people don't care. They don't believe the news media anymore. The news media is the only organization that participates in the political process that has a lower approval rating than Congress itself. And why? Because we know that right now you're just throwing a temper tantrum. Honestly, nobody believes you. The news media and the Democratic Party, as of late, and this is not a free pass for Republicans either, but the news media and the Democratic Party, as of late, are the boy who cried wolf. For 40 years, if you didn't like what a Democrat said, you were called racist. And the people that called you racist were the producers and the anchors and the commentators and the talking heads and the people in power in the news media. But now what do you do when Trump's Twitter feed has a bigger following than you do? You throw a temper tantrum, and with the power that you have left, you just complain about Trump all day. But you want to know what? Dogs bark, but the caravan moves on. News media, if you're listening, I think it would be a much better tack to try and persuade the president towards what you consider more rational policy, and to begin playing ball with the American people in a fair way. Bring respect back to the profession of journalism, because that is what has been lost. And today was a perfect example. I'm Cardinellis. This is Problem Solver Politics. Like, subscribe, share, or die.